This is actually a 2-beat. Can you play 2-beat on the Janananda? It's very simple. It's easier than 3-beat.
I'll try something.
Paramasuke Vikara Koro Ye
Atidamase paramasuke svikara koro yena.
Shura Bhakata Charane Bhajana
Sudha Bhakata Charanare
Bhajana anukula.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Just before I forget, because I forgot already, so when I forget again, tomorrow is Chiradoi Mahotsav. So we have to make Chiradoi Mahotsav festival tomorrow evening.
Yes.
We will need chip rice. We need lots of chip rice, yogurt, condensed milk, bananas, camphor, tea. Okay. Can we buy it tomorrow in the morning?
Yeah.
No, to get chip rice. It's not available in most shops. Where do you get it from?
MA Brothers?
Indian shop?
Yeah, chip rice you can get it.
Should be good. Sure.
A Brighton store also get it.
Brighton's,
We
yeah.
bought it Brighton store. I don't know whether it's.
So if we can get that tomorrow, then we'll make varieties. We get other things, the varieties of different things. We can do sweet and savoury ones. Tomorrow.
I was thinking of making Muri.
So we can, it was especially good chip rice.
Muri.
Chiradoi. Yeah,
Muri also will get in Brighton stores. They have. But chipped rice. We make something with the chipped rice. You make it to very fine, and that is known as
Oh.
chudagasa.
All the recipes are given for this preparations.
I think that
That's
chudagasa also they make in the
We follow the recipe Raghunath Das Goswami.
Raghunadosa. Okay.
It's very Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then you can do other things too.
Yeah, but at least that should
Those two preparations for tomorrow. Those things can be done this afternoon.
So what are the two, Maharaj? Chip rice with yogurt
Chip rice with condensed milk.
and chip rice with condensed milk.
Yeah. First of all, we soak everything in milk. At the end, we need good milk as well. And then it's separated. And then one will go with camphor, lots of bananas, ghee, camphor, yogurt, and then condensed milk and sugar, and different things. And other things can be made too. Making different varieties of those two ingredients. And we need all the clay pots.
We'll get Terry to make them when he comes in.
Now we may not be able to get the clay pots easy in this country. We don't make them very up. Maybe do, but they're very expensive. Very expensive clay pots. Probably get them. People use them for gardening as well.
Yeah, they use them for gardening.
It's easier to hold.
Serve from clay pot, is it from
Traditionally, wasn't it?
Yeah. If you go to India, you go to India. You see, fresh in. You love Kishori? So you do things with feelings for her, don't you? Natural. It's only natural. If you don't love someone, there's no real feeling. This is the real thing. This is the difference between someone who's asking mechanical and spontaneous. Well, he's not here. Krishna Kripa was here. I said I'd talk about it today, so he's not here. But this is the difference. Mechanical is not, there's no feeling. Okay, it's the beginning of a relationship. It's just, it's offensive also, it's mechanical. And it may not be offensive in what they're doing overtly. In chanting Hare Krishna, offensive chanting is called mechanical chanting. But when it's just mechanical without any feeling, no relation. Let's squeeze in a little bit more, there's a little space. Maybe you can move that a little bit this way, and you can squeeze in a little bit there. And make the space for us to squeeze in. It's kind of a bit crushed over by the doorstep there. If anyone else does come, you never know who might come. I know most of the boys have gone to the concert tonight, haven't they? Stayed with lights. Surprised you didn't go tonight. I thought you'd have all gone. Why you were not at the concert? No wonder, you should have been at the concert tonight. You didn't know. You didn't know about the concert?
Not until we got here.
You
No.
look bewildered.
Is there not from Sunderland?
No.
You don't know. The most famous, they tell me one of the most famous rock stars in the world is performing in Sunderland tonight.
We heard of
Rihanna.
Pop
David
star.
Astley.
Rihanna
Rihanna David Astley.
Prabhu.
Mataji.
They do here. in
That's
Newcastle.
wrong. You're going to say Prabhu, you have to say Prabhi.
Prabhu.
Prabhi. That's a female. Prabhu's male. Unless you're, gay or something. Lesbian. Incorrect. Prabhupada used it once or twice in that out of 10,000 addresses. So once or twice he did mention that. Because in one sense we are all addressing each other as master, male or female. Practically it's not the correct address. The last thing on earth we want to do, especially ladies, is to think of a master. Devastating to your spiritual life. The science is designed to help us get off the body platform. This is like for various activities, and they're not meant. They take one a different way. Every individual has got. That's why certain things are not meant for certain members of society, because they take it will increase the wrong thing in their consciousness. Therefore, it's not given. It's like a baby. You don't give babies certain foods because it will, your medicines. You don't give them because it won't help at all. According to the nature of the conditioned soul. And the whole purpose of the structure is to take the nature and to help the nature become purified. And to imitate others is the most detrimental thing we can do to become Krishna conscious. Very detrimental. We must not do that. We want to advance in Kriya. We want to get free of the ahankara, not increase it. Unfortunately, modern society is pushing to increase it. Men and women all the same. They're not all. There's a spiritual similarity, but not physically. And the needs for different people are different. Within the males, there are different needs. Within the females, there are different needs. But certain things here are not correct according to the Vedic system. So this song by Lochan Das means Lord. Paho means Lord. And Dui Jana means two. Lochan Das Thakur declares that the two lords, Nitai Gaur Chandra, Lord Nitai and Lord Chaitanya, are very merciful. Paramakaruna, Saba Avatar, Sharashi Ramani. Avatar means incarnation. Saba means all. They are the essence of all incarnations. The specific significance of these incarnations is that prosecuting their way of self-realization is simply joyful. Kevala Ananda Kand, for they introduce chanting and dancing. There are many incarnations, like Lord Ram and even Krishna, who taught Bhagavad Gita, which requires knowledge and understanding. But Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda introduced a process that is simply joyful, simply chant and dance. Therefore Lochan Das requests everyone, Bhajo Bhajo Bhai, Chaitanya Nitai. My dear brother, I request that you just worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda with firm conviction and faith. Don't think that this chanting and dancing will not lead to the desired goal. It will. It is the assurance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that one will get all perfection by this process. Therefore one must chant with firm faith and conviction. What is the process? The process is Vishaya Chariya, Seirasa Majiya. For wants to be Krishna conscious by this process, one has to give up his engagement in sense gratification. That is the only restriction. If one gives up sense gratification, it is sure that he will reach the desired goal. Mukhi bolo Hari Hari. One simply has to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, without any motive of sense gratification. Dekho Ori Bhai, Tribu Bhai. Lochan Das Thakur says, my dear brother, you just try and examine this. Within the three worlds there is no one like Lord Chaitanya or Lord Nityananda, because their merciful qualities are so great that they make even birds and beasts cry. What to speak of human beings? Actually, when Lord Chaitanya passed through the forest, now it's very quiet. The tigers, elephants, snakes, deer, and all other animals joined him in chanting Hare Krishna. It's so nice that anyone can join. Even the animals can join. What to speak of human beings? Of course, it is not possible for ordinary men or just animals to chant. But if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could inspire animals to chant, at least we can encourage human beings to adopt this path of Hare Krishna mantra chanting. It is so nice that even the most stone-hearted man will be melted. Passion means stone. It is so nice that even stone will melt. But Lochan Das Thakur regrets that he is entrapped by sense gratification. He addresses himself, "My dear mind, you are entrapped in this sense gratification process, and you have no attraction for chanting Hare Krishna. Since you have no attraction for the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, what can I say? I can simply think of my misfortune. Yamaraj, the superintendent of death, is punishing me by not allowing me to be attracted by this movement." This is not in the sense that, how is that Yamaraj is punishing us by not being attracted to this movement? What does that mean? What does it mean?
Sometimes I've thought that Yamaraj is connected to giving us our karma. And so he's responsible for administering our karma. So in one sense we could put him in the frame and say that he's punishing us.
Yes, because earlier on he says he's entrapped by sense gratification. So if we're entrapped by sense gratification, then the tendency is to be under the sway of Yamaraj. Under the sway of Yamaraj. And so under the sway of Yamaraj, we have to get free of that, the grips of Yamaraj. Of course, it's said that where the sanctions are performed, Yamaraj is also there. So you're going to have to fear death when Yamaraj is present. There's no fear of death. He's present in the kirtan. One time one devotee said that to Srila Prabhupada, he said, "Srila Prabhupada, you are more merciful than Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya only preached in India. You should have probably preached all over the world." And Prabhupada said, "No, no. Lord Chaitanya preached to the animals. He converted the animals." And then the devotee said, "But Srila Prabhupada," Lord Prabhupada said, "Lord Chaitanya preached to the animals in the jungle, not just pets, but animals in the jungle." And the devotee said, very clever, he said, "Prabhupada, you were preaching to the two-legged animals, Dui Padi Pashu, two-legged animals in the jungle of Sunderland." New York. Or you could say Sunderland, he said New York. Newcastle, almost the same. Newcastle, New York. New York, who's been to New York? Who's been to New York? Some of you being you've seen. It's like it's like a jungle, isn't it? I mean, you can't see the sun. I mean, there's
Concrete jungle.
huh? Concrete jungle. The buildings are so high you can hardly see the sky sometimes, isn't it? They go up on both, like you're walking in this like deep, like a what do you call it, like the Grand Canyon or something? Huh?
A crevice.
Crevice, yeah. They're like looking up in the sky. You have to look up in the sky to see some sky.
There was a song by a band called The Specials called Concrete Jungle.
Really?
Concrete jungle, animals are after me. That was one of the lines.
Is that right? In the concrete jungle, the animals are active. But it's all a concrete jungle, whether it's tall or short. It's all concrete now, isn't it? People are just basically, it's all about, me. Exploitation, all the shops and everything, isn't it? It's all about, what's in it for me, is it? Prabhupada kindly came to that concrete jungle of New York and preached right in the heart of the Big Apple. Right at the heart of the Big Apple. It's called the Big Apple.
It's Chicago.
New York. We met a girl from Chicago and sang it that day, didn't we?
Yeah.
And 3 people, one was from Huddersfield, one from Aberdeen, and one from Chicago.
Caitlin.
Huh?
Caitlin.
Yeah, from Chicago.
Yeah.
They were very interested, especially the boy was very interested.
He was, yeah, he was fine.
Huddersfield.
Jay.
Jay.
J2.
Jay too.
Yeah, I didn't. And he said his name was Jay, and I said my name is Jay too. This is J3. This is J4. Chanting Hare Krishna in the streets of Sunderland. Chanting Sunderland. So can you all see it on the board? It's very easy to see it. Where is that?
Did Prabhupada give any further response to that devotee, Maharaj? Or?
No, I don't know. Maybe. No, I didn't hear anything. But regarding this song, Prabhupada did like to sing it.
Mm.
One of his favourites. In Atlanta, 1976, when Prabhupada was 75. Prabhupada was, I wasn't there, but you can read it, it was described. He sang this song in the campaign. He told the devotees they had going time. He was going on a tour. He'd just been to Mexico and Venezuela, and then he went to Miami, then he went to Baltimore, and he came to Atlanta. Everywhere they had going Thai days. Those days there weren't very many Radha Krishna days, mostly going Thai. And they were beautiful, marble going Thai days, many times they were beautiful days. Everywhere Prabhupada went and go, he would say, these are the most beautiful going Thai. Next time he said, these are the most beautiful. He came to Atlanta and he said, the most beautiful going Thai. Here he had asked the devotees to sing this song every day. Paramakuna Pramudavich. Appreciate Gaur Nityananda Daya, the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. Without their mercy.
And didn't Prabhupada, on that occasion, he was unable to complete the bhajan?
I don't know if it was singing this one. Certainly when he was chanting Hare Krishna, it may have been this one, you may be right.
I heard that it was on that occasion in
Okay,
Atlanta.
it was definitely at that time that he was in Samadhi.
Mm.
I think you know more than I on that. Well, I should say it could well have been he couldn't finish the song, he just stopped. He went into it. So that's the difference. We sing it, maybe we're inattentive, maybe we're a little bit attentive, maybe we're a little bit meditative, maybe we're not, maybe we're just thinking of the sound, which is all good in many ways. I mean, something is there, but you know, the pure devotee is entering into the song. He's actually there. It's not just a matter of singing it. He's actually, this is his offering to Krishna. These bhajans that he worship. Literally, that's what it means. Is the devotee's worship of Krishna. Worship is through. These bhajans are evolved out of the devotee's pure heart, his pure love for the object of the bhajan, the object of the worship. You also say, generally speaking, kirtan is, those are more Vedic mantras, really. They're in the Vedas, aren't they? Hare Krishna. Maybe other things are included, but there's no real difference. Glorification also, the same thing. But it's a little like notable, it's like you could see prayers. There's notable prayers and there's heartfelt prayers. And they're both recommended. Notable prayers and heartfelt prayers. Notable prayers like the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. We sometimes recite those. Prayers of Queen Kunti or whatever it may be. And there's heartfelt prayers, which is our own prayers, basically. They may be coinciding with the others, and often we choose notable prayers according to our own. Just like in the Bible, many of you know that. You will have seen, for those who come from Christian backgrounds, they choose a prayer according to your, isn't it, in the Bible, a certain verse? It's notable prayers, but they're irrelevant to the heartfelt. It's very, very helpful. So the same thing, you can find the same thing in the Vedic literature, different prayers which are suitable for various conditions, the situations we're in. And then you can have your purely heartfelt prayers, you know, when something's difficult or some problem in our life, or whatever it may be, or maybe we're having some obstacle on our spiritual path. So we offer some prayer, you know, my dear Lord, please help me to overcome this anartha, or this whatever it is, behavior pattern, whatever it may be. pure. But at different stages, whatever we do is not absolutely pure. So those heartfelt prayers can be very purifying, if in the right, with the right intention, attitude. But everything again depends on our consciousness, basically. So when we bow down to Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutavare, maybe we're not very conscious sometimes. Even when we address each other, we're not conscious. We're not conscious. We're not conscious of the address. We're not conscious of, frankly, most of the time. So being conscious has much more of an effect, even in a relationship between people. When the consciousness is there, if you're disinterested, isn't it? Imagine if you're talking to somebody, and they're like, how are they going to feel? Are they going to be very interested? Are they going to reciprocate? Not likely. Most likely they'll go away, right? If we're totally disinterested. So, the same with Krishna. If we're disinterested, although we're talking away, he's not like that. He's our best friend. He never leaves us. No, he never leaves us. We're not Suridamas. We're not the best friend we're ever going to be. Krishna is. He never leaves, even if we're totally disinterested. He doesn't reveal himself because we don't want to know about him. But one is trying to be devoted, even though we're, in some ways, there's an initial interest, but then when he comes, we're kind of disinterested almost. We're reading the Bhagavatam. Where's the newspaper? Bring the newspaper. Put the television on. We're chatting. Some of you are second initiated. You put your finger on the Brahmin thread. I don't know whether you began or finished. I've seen there was in the middle of the Brahmin something. I didn't realize they were chanting Brahmin. We're not overly, during Prashadam usually we're a little bit more attentive. I've fallen asleep on a plate of Prashadam a few times. I've seen others nod off of Prashadam too, but I've really nodded off of Prashadam sometimes. But generally speaking, we're not so conscious that this is Krishna, the relationship with the person. So it's very unconscious, very conscious. The same with Muslim prayers, same we're doing, but the pure devotees are completely conscious. This is not just, songs they're trying to remember what it means and kind of try to focus on it, but this is actually coming from them. This is their very glorification of Krishna, called bhajan. It's coming from their hearts. This is a beautiful song, Lochandas Thakur. Said that we should sing these songs of Lochandas Thakur. He's one of the Narottam Das, Lochandas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. These great acharyas have given us many songs to sing in Bengal, especially the song of Lochandas. Very simple Bengali which people sing it. And if you go to Bengal in the villages sometimes, you hear the villagers singing the songs of Narottam Das Thakur, Lochandas Thakur, and probably many others too. Very different songs, beautiful songs. A nice way to spend the day, isn't it? Instead of, what's her name?
Rihanna.
Rihanna? Instead of saying, what's she sing? Does she sing or what?
She sings.
Something about an umbrella.
Interesting,
An umbrella.
the umbrella, that's what I was thinking, that's, under my umbrella, but that's also...
There we go, we can dovetail that. We can dovetail that song.
Governor,
Yeah, the Govardhan.
under my umbrella.
is the umbrella to give us all shelter.
Yeah.
We all have to take shelter over downhill. Isn't it? That pastime we were reading yesterday in the Gopal Champu, really nice. Have you read the Gopal Champu?
I can't recall.
No? It's amazing. I mean, you can read the Bhagavatam first. The Gopal Champu is like a compendium. Who's that? Who's that?
wow.
Who's that?
Haribol.
Who's that fat fellow over there? Maybe two. I'm a skinny guy. You made me look handsome there. What have you done? That's all. Maybe you look like a or that, like ugly
Do my
looking
best.
Christian. You did too good. Nobody will know who that is. And the doors here know because they know you. Your heart of gold. Your heart of gold is reflected. Look at that. Anyone want a portrait? How much for portrait? How much for portraits?
Well, I was going to give it to a friend, but if I can't find a friend, I'll give it to Brenda.
Haribol. You're a gem. You're a gem, old boy. Anyway, we're reading Gopal Champu, and it was the pastime of Indra. How Indra devastated, or tried to devastate Vrindavan, right? And he sent his troops in, pouring down avalanches of just like columns. It said the rain was coming down like columns. It wasn't just big balls of like hail. It was like columns coming down, like pillars, like. And just like the shower in the basement of New Mayapur. If you've ever been there, at least it used to be. They changed it now. But when we first went there in 1974, 75, they had this old chain that you pull. And the pipe was that thick, and there was the water was just straight out of the ice box. It was like this. It was just like the Ganga bursting out of the glacier. It was like the jet was that the water came down that thick. It was like, there was only one. There was no control whatsoever. You pull the chain, and it was all cold. And this was like December the 31st, January the 1st, and there was a blizzard. There were no windows in the basement. No windows. It was open. The wind was blasting in. There was snow outside, and we were there for the installation of Krishna Bhavan, I think we were installing. That was the first one. I think it was like 40 towers, I can't remember what it was. One of those. And we all gone over from some of us had gone over from England here. So, oh goodness, that shower. It was like, you have to put your hands up like this, to protect yourself. Never forget that. It was just like the Indra's columns of rain pouring down, devastating rainfall. Pounding on Govardhan and Vrindavan. And then after the whole thing was over, of course, Indra was frustrated, depressed, dejected, humiliated, you name it. Scared stiff. He was terrified. He knew that something was going to happen. He'd made a big mistake. Something's going to happen soon. So he didn't know what to do. Anyway, Lord Brahma bailed him out, basically speaking. And he told him, you made a big mistake, good boy. You really blew it. You better do something quick. You better get down there quick and apologize quick. But you won't be able to do it alone, mate. You better take Sarabi. Sarabi didn't want to look at him. Sarabi was just about to sign a treaty with the demons. He said, if this rascal is the head of the demigods, I don't want nothing to do with him. I'm gonna join the demons, she said. But it said in Gopal Champu, she was just about to sign a treaty with the demons. Imagine if Sarabi was on the demons, there's no chance of doing that. So he begged, and Lord Brahma requested Sarabi to assist. So she agreed on that basis, although she didn't like to look at anyone who's offended her Krishna and offended the cows of Vrindavan. What a thing to do. So anyway, she went there, and you know the stories of the Krishna. So after the whole thing, and then Indra came. They came to Govinda Kund, and Airavata was there, spraying water all over the place. Indra's elephant. And Sarabi was there with the milk to bathe Krishna and everything. All the cows, many cows were there, and many demigods came. This great Abhishek of Krishna. Krishna was at that time basically alone when Indra came. And there were a few cowboys hanging around, but they were kind of just watching from a distance. And all the demigods came, and they were all doing Abhishek, and then they were doing Arti, and offering thanks, and they were all offering gifts to Krishna. Various items were offered. Lord Shiva offered a very special flute to Krishna. Different demigods were offering different things to Krishna. And then they all, after it was all over, then they went away. And then, at that time when Krishna was alone, actually he was thinking that, when will this finish? This is boring. When will they go away? He was actually thinking that, because for him, his dry as a bone, stood there accepting all this worship. He was just waiting for them to go so he could get on with his play, his business, his real business. So they went away, and after all they left all the paraphernalia behind, and all the gifts and everything left behind. So then when the coward man came, he thought, what is all this? Because they were pretty big, some of these items. They were big chameras and big ghee lamps and different things. What's been going on around here? Where's all this? What's been going on? Oh, nothing, Krishna said. Nothing happened at all. Nothing. What's going on around here? And then the cowboys came and said, oh, this funny man came with 4 heads. And he started speaking something. Another man with 1,000 eyes bowed down on the ground and said some words to Krishna. Another fellow with 5 heads came and started giving things to Krishna. And a big cow came and started pouring milk on Krishna. And this elephant came, a big elephant came, a very attractive, decorated elephant came splashing water all over the place. And they described the whole thing like this, you know. And they were chanting some prayers of some kind. That's all they could take from it. They didn't know what's going on. They just described it like that. The caravan started wondering what's going on around here. Anyway, that was the Indra Puja, worship of Lord Krishna. Little pastime described in Gopal Champur. So anyway, back to where we were. This Rihanna. To think of spiritual Rihanna. Is that a spiritual word, Rihanna? That's a Sanskrit word. Sounds quite Sanskrit. Right?
Yeah, it means evil.
Evil.
Rihanna.
Really?
In Sanskrit.
In Sanskrit. No? I don't think so, because of our coming here today, many thousands of people heard the holy name. We should be there now singing to them all. I'm sure if she was downtown, she would have joined us. Maybe she was. No, I don't know if she was. I don't think so. She was surrounded by people. But anyway, many people came to hear her today, and many of them heard the holy name. They were very happy, weren't they? So Lord Chaitanya has his plan. I would recommend to those who are serious about this anyway, that if there's any such events, concerts, even football matches, they may not be the most, who can say, ready for Krishna consciousness. But nowadays it's changed. It's not quite like it used to be. Remember we went to Newcastle United last year once or twice? So some of them were not so bad, were they? Yeah, it was nice. There's a lot of family. It's become more of a kind of a social event now. It's not all the skinheads, you know, with their broken bottles, you know, and the police kind of holding them back, you know, and like the cages, you know, with dogs and keeping them on the right side of the fence, you know. It used to be a bit like that, you know.
It was totally like that.
It was like a brawl. I mean, it was like a real brawl, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The real match was not on the pitch. The real match was between the supporters. That was the real fight. You know? That was the real competition. I hate Sunderland. I hate Newcastle. Right? They walk around. I saw them walking around with t-shirts. I hate Sunderland. I hate Newcastle. It was like a hatred there. They walk around with these t-shirts on, and it's like all over the place. You know, every city had like this hatred, and it still goes on, but it's a bit more sophisticated now, a bit more controlled, and it's become a little bit more social event, hasn't it? Children, women, lots of women going to soccer matches now. Families, becoming families. It's not quite so bad like that, but it's very nice that people get the chance to hear the holy name, and you know, it's nice. Of course, if they lose, they probably think we're a bad omen. We were in Auckland. No, it wasn't. It was Hamilton in New Zealand a few years ago. We had no idea there was a world rugby match going on. Were you there that time in Hamilton? The All Blacks playing. The All Blacks were there. That's the New Zealand rugby team called the All Blacks. They're usually the world champions. I think usually they're really expert at rugby over there. But they were playing the Springboks. That's the South African rugby team. And the Springboks were, you know, that you're from that part of the world. You play rugby? No. Who plays rugby? Anyone? Any rugby fans? Yeah, back to used to be a rugby player.
Played before you.
Yeah, when you were a kid. Yeah. I used to play rugby too, believe it or not. I used to play for the school, fullback. No way, maybe I hated it. I tried to play as bad as I could to get out of the team. I purposely played bad. It took me 1 year to get out of the team. Can you believe it? I tried to play as bad as I could and I still couldn't get out of the damn team. I don't understand that. Punishment, torture. Anyway, whatever. So anyway, they were playing and we didn't know it, but it was a bit rainy, I think, a bit drizzly, and we were stood under this shelter there. And all of a sudden, so this hotel is some hotel in Hamilton. All of a sudden, all the All Blacks came out. They came parading out of the hotel, you know. There they were, we're chanting kirtan. They were waving like this, getting into their coach to go to the stadium, you know. They were chanting away that they lost the match, so I don't know. They may have thought we were a bad omen or something, I don't know. I never found out after that.
Maybe they had bad thoughts about the Harinam on the way to the coach.
They were smiling up, maybe.
Maybe they were preoccupied thinking of Krishna.
Yeah, maybe they became purified after that and lost all attachment to
Yes.
victory and and everything like that. You know, they had no interest in, you know, these things. They lost that spirit. You know. But some of them, they got the holy name. So it's a good idea if these events are on, you know, music events or whatever. Vegetarian, sometimes they have, I don't know here, but I remember in Bristol last year there was this vegetarian fair on the quay, and tens of thousands of people down there. But the ones didn't even know about it. You know, vegetarian. There were so many alternates there. Well, we went out on it, 2 or 3 of us were the only ones there. The rest had all gone off somewhere for a party somewhere out in the countryside or something. There were only 2 or 3 of us doing Harinam. It was amazing. Take advantage of these opportunities. Share the holy name. Prabhupada said this is our business, to share the holy name with others. We may not be able to convert them. We may not be able to. What a way. We're just instant. But at least we can give them a chance to hear the holy name. Chance to take a shower. Chance to something, maybe get a book or two. A leaflet, something or another. There's some chance to connect with Krishna consciousness. There's many opportunities. I don't know much about what goes on around the place, but I'm sure there's plenty of events that we could tap into. Those who are in a position to do so. And today was certainly one. If we planned ourselves, of course, we could have known. We would have stayed out a lot longer. We would have stayed out till whatever time they all go into the stadium, at least 60,000 of them, they told us. 60,000 people were expected for this concert. Can you imagine?
Outside concert.
No, in the stadium.
Stadium of light.
Football
Stadium light.
Yeah.
It can take 60,000.
No,
I don't think so.
No,
That's what they said.
They let them on the pitch as well.
Yeah, the
so-
pitch. So
Yeah, so
not
they're
the-
sitting down right on the pitch. So there'll be more there. The guy said 60,000, the steward said 60,000.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Because I think the seating's about
48,000.
48. 48.
40.
48.
Yeah, so they said, the steward said 60,000 people were expected. Well, that's a lot of people, and most of them are young. Not saying most, but a lot of them are young. The streets were crawling with young, wasn't it? Young people did it. For Sunderland, anyway. They were crawling. And that was way before the concert
Yeah,
started.
3-4 hours before they start.
Huh? What time does it start? 8 o'clock?
7.
So yeah, well, we left there at 4:30, so it was, you can imagine at 6 o'clock, you know, how many people there'd be. It's such fun, and they love it. They're coming out of the pubs, they're asking us to go into the pubs. They're coming out dancing and smiling, laughing and jumping, and it's so nice to see. Old people too, so very nice. So take advantage. And now if you have a nice sunny day, I'm sure everybody will be down on Sunderland Beach. Is it? You have a beach here? You do. Yesterday. That was it. I'm afraid we missed it. That was the sunny day. What to do? But anyway, it's just a suggestion, that's all. Suggestion. Okay. Whoops. Oh, washing the carpet again.
It's good going today.
Cream. You're washing the carpet. That's the cream. We're washing the carpet.
Tissue from the kitchen. Tissue paper.
The carpet was thirsty.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's all right.
Needs to wash the carpet, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can bring a bucket in, we'll wash the carpet. Scrub the carpet. Shove our hearts. We're having a good time on your carpet tonight, aren't we? Ram Rao spills cream all over it. Smears
Yeah.
cream on the carpet. Now it's going to pour water. Who will be next?
That's the
You're
clean
cleaning
one,
the cream
that's
up,
clean.
yeah.
This is the cream. Okay, so we'll sing this beautiful song, Low Chandas. Thank you. It'll be it's only water. Well, if it was pomegranate juice, that's a problem. Pomegranate juice would have been a real problem. That really stays, doesn't it? Geez, it takes years for that stuff to come out before it.
Sorry.
Really hard to get pomegranate juice out.
Maharaj, is it too deep?
Huh?
Is it too deep? So you can go.
Usually. You're the operator? You're the operator? You play the harmonium? Or? Good when you sing. Right, just go slowly and quietly to begin with. Now go slowly. Very slowly to begin with. And you can slow down. Oh, Premanandi. I have a question. Many of you are from this part of the world who are living here. What do you feel to help bring Krishna consciousness to the people of the Northeast? Some of you have been living here a long time, some of you are very experienced. What do you feel will be required to further Srila Prabhupada's mission here in the northeast of England?
A miracle?
So good, yes, in one sense, that's it. It's a miracle. Those miracles happening all the time. There's no doubt. Is there any other comments on that, or is that the beginning, middle, and end of the topic?
More chanting, Hare Krishna.
More chanting of Hare Krishna. Okay. Pardon?
Kalki.
Lord Karki.
Kalki, how about that?
Kalki. I thought you said Lord car cleaning. I thought you said car cleaning.
Lord Kalki. Yeah.
Lord Kalki. Lord Kalki. Kalki? Kalki? Huh? You're here. He's here. He came. Kalki's here. Yes, I told you.
We could start chanting groups in our own hometowns.
Nice one. Follow on. Like Chesterley, the Chesterley Street. It's another way of doing it. Bhakti.
I think if the devotees could come to love each other, then that would be very powerful.
Maybe you have to explain what that means to love each other. People on the street were trying to express their love for us this afternoon in their own ways, as you may have noticed.
I think one suggestion is that many of the my friends, they are retired now, and we are trying to focus on the retired people because they are coming to almost they're finishing one plus coming to sannyasa stage, but still there is a lot of
Sannyasis in the northeast.
No, in the sense that the age-wise.
Age-wise, yeah.
And so probably there is a big gap in them in the material.
Interesting statement, actually. They may be a little tired. They're retired. It's true. I mean, ultimately, many of us are going to get old. Some of us are already on the borderline. Would you say so? On the borderline? You feeling that, Mark?
Yeah.
A little bit on the borderline?
Not yet.
Not
No.
yet.
Coming back.
Coming back,
The
good.
youth of old age, but the old age of youth.
The old age of youth, yeah. Yes, it's internally, of course, it's different for the devotee or one who's alive, but some of us are a little bit on that edge. So I noticed that in New Zealand just now, we were in the South Island of New Zealand, in Dunedin particularly. We had a public program. It's a public program from the university, but it was open to all. And for apparently an unadvertised program, it was a little bit of advertising, but not too much. A fair crowd came, maybe 60 or 70 or something, like two nights ago. The second night was more. So the first night couldn't have been too bad, but the second night was more. And I noticed there were at least 3 or 4 senior citizens, families came, like husband and wife, in their 60s and 70s. 3 couples, maybe 4 couples came to the program. What it is, now of course with Indian people it's one thing, with Westerners, when they come to old age, and they may be too dulled out, but not everybody's like that. But some of them have had their youth. When they were youth, what age, what era did they go through? So it's not like 40 or 50 years ago. 60. What did they get exposed to? Krishna consciousness to some degree. Maybe through the Beatles, through some festival they went to. Maybe they saw them on the street. Maybe they even went to the temple. maybe some of them were even devotees.
Mhm.
Many of them were. And now they finished, they wasn't on the menu for them at that time very much. They got into their family life, they got into their business. It's over now. Children are gone. Business is finished. They're 65, 70 years old. There's a little truth in what you say, I believe. That, there's like a vacuum now. Now what? Is there anything, what is it now? Just going to sit in front of the TV or throw balls down a piece of grass for the rest of my life, or go to see Rihanna, what's her name? Rihanna. 7-year-old. Oh, you have to have the ambulance there. 500 old people taken off, broken ankles, broken arms, broken necks. What are they going to do? What are they going to do with their dying days? It's a it's a fact. I mean, how much you're going to? I mean, they're not going to expect them to be out on the street and all these people, army, down the road. Of course, it would be interesting. But that's one of the things Prabhupada did talk about. That when people come to old age, to give them that chance to become Krishna conscious. And another thing about that is that old people, if they become attracted to Krishna consciousness, then many things may happen. That may be also there, especially with Indian people, more so probably. But there's also the factor that they may become maybe to help the spreading of Krishna consciousness. Some of them are very influential. Some of them have connections. Some of them are very important. They may be in society. Now, I was talking to a man the other day a few weeks ago in New Govardhan in Australia. And he's not anything special now because he lost everything. Unfortunately, his wife managed to take everything away that they had, all of his properties, everything. And he was brought up in the second most prestigious school in England. He knocked shoulders with lords and ladies, and the guys are all CEOs and things like that now of big companies in England. All the school kids he was at school with, he's there, he's 66, 65 years old. But he bounced around with all those guys. He just got totally disenchanted with it in his middle age. And he kind of didn't, he just lost track with the whole thing. And he's showing a bit of interest in Krishna consciousness now, And he that he was a hippie. He was a hippie. And after he finished school, he became a hippie man, became hippies. Many of these influential people now in society were hippies. Because they were the intelligent people became hippies. Materially intelligent. Mostly they were students, right? Most of the hippies were coming from, reasonably educated backgrounds, to say the least. And many of them so a lot of these people have grown up now. So that may be them, and it may be an avenue, because someone's got to pursue it, someone's got to develop it, and you've got to strike while the iron's hot. You can't wait until they're dead.
Can I add something?
Yes, of course you can.
Speaking from past experience, there's a whole group of people who are turning to God or spirituality when they're at their most desperate. Like drug addiction, alcohol addiction.
Yep.
You look at around the country now, there's 12-step therapies opening all over, which is spiritual ways to conquer drug addiction and alcoholism.
Yep.
You go to rehabs, in prisons. I've been in prison, I've been to rehabs as well. And you have groups of people who are going to these rehabs, and yoga and alternative therapies are being used there.
Mindfulness.
Maybe this could be something. Maybe meditation could be something we could take to these people, to these rehabs, to these hostels, to these.
Very good. I mean, we have quite a few devotees have come from that area in the past, and it is a de facto area. It's good in the public eye also. It's just like, I think that some of I don't know, but some of the people who maybe saw you on the street yesterday, your friends, were probably quite happy to see you like this.
I saw my friend's mother, the lady who I cuddled. She was my best friend's mom.
Really?
And me and her son, we used heroin for 10 years, and we slept rough together on the street. We used to live on the street together, and I got clean. Maybe 4 years ago, I haven't seen her son, and I got clean, and her son went to London, and he now sleeps rough in London, still uses heroin. And when she saw me on the street, she was like, "Oh, how is that you, Ma?" And she couldn't believe it was me. And I was explaining that I've been clean for 3 years, and she was asking me to help her son.
Yeah.
When I saw her, and she hugged me, so she was asking me to help her son.
Because that means you don't just get them, you get the parents, you get the family, you get the society, you get the structure. And Prabhupada did mention that, didn't he? And that was one of his things. He said we're saving young people from drugs.
In Chicago, funnily enough.
Chicago, with that professor, Mosley or something.
Evanston, yeah, in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mosley, yeah.
That was the main thing. He said, because he was crying what to do, how to deal with it. It's another. And again, there's many things that can be done. There's no doubt about that. Of course, your point is the root point with loving relationships between devotees, the strength between devotees to help each other and to show that Prabhupada wanted that. Although it's a hard thing. I remember when I first joined the temple in London, I looked around and I saw, geez, I would not want to stay with hardly any of the persons I'm presently staying with if you paid me prior to coming to the movement. But because there was something binding us, there are people staying in the temple, devotees there, coming from type of backgrounds, natures, which were not compatible to me, materially speaking, totally incompatible. But because of what is that love? It's a difficult one to, of course we've just heard loving exchanges just now. Exchanges there, that's the one spiritual aspect to developing those loving relationships is, we just heard it in the song we sang earlier on, some of you were not here, but giving gifts in charity, giving gifts, receiving gifts, giving prasadam, receiving prasadam, revealing one's mind and hearing confidentially. That's one aspect of it. There's obviously a lot more to it than that. That's the basics. But that love which I felt when I first joined, I don't know if it's called love, but that binding feature was more in the form of, I suppose, really that we had a very common purpose. You see, like for instance, when there's a common enemy, people seem to come together quite strongly, don't they? Even though normally they're not very united, perhaps. When there's a war, all of a sudden people come together, don't they? They bind strongly. It's like, generally speaking, the Arab world has a common denominator of animosity towards the Jews, right? Generally speaking. Obviously it's not all pervasive, very general. And I guess vice versa. Previously it was Russia against America. You may know that in Russia, you may not, but I know that in Russia, I asked some of the elderly people what do they feel during that period of time. What were they being, made to be? They were educated that all Americans were all like, horrible, demoniac, sinful people. Just like we had a kind of a picture almost of Russians being kind of, you see ugly pictures of them being almost like vampires, practically speaking. It was like a hatred was born, wasn't it? And it was like education system almost created a hatred of Russian. And the same thing was there against America. It's all artificial.
Better to be dead than red.
Yeah. It was propaganda was very strong on both sides of the fence. It wasn't one-sided. We only hear one side, but it was both sides, So it's all very, very artificial kind of thing. And the people, they grew out this kind of national hatred almost. And that we don't have hatred for anyone. At the same time, when we realize there is another common enemy in that sense. I mean, death is coming to all of us. And the material Maya is there, and Kali Yuga is there. But maybe we don't feel that so much as we did those days. We were on, I must say, it was like being on red alert. You know what red alert means? When there's almost on the platform of the war's beginning or something. It was like that, The boys really felt like that. They really felt bound by need, the urgency to spread Krishna consciousness. I don't know, I just get the feeling that urgency isn't so pervasive nowadays. It's almost like, it's kind of relaxed back into what we are and who we are, and the society's been established, and we've got almost like a comfort zone. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like that, It's not, that's alright, that should be there as well, but it's like that urgent streak is to me it's kind of almost lacking. It's kind of like pussyfooting. But that's just my experience, and not everyone's got the same experience. But when we joined, it was really like that, Of course, we were young, we were troopers, we were revolutionaries, we were out to change the world. We thought that within 4 years the world was going to be conquered, practically. The Krishna consciousness. There was that tremendous surged there, and there was responses like from the American government. They said if this Hare Krishna movement carries on like this, it's an epidemic. Within how many years I can't remember they said, but if we're not careful, the whole government's going to be conquered by the Hare Krishnas very soon. That was from the government of America. The newspaper in the TASS newspaper in Russia published the greatest threat to communism. That's the main paper in Moscow. The greatest threat to communism, Hare Krishna and rock music. They had the headlines of their newspaper. They were feeling the threat. They were feeling the pinch. And there was only a handful of us. There's like 10 million so-called Hare Krishna devotees now around the world or something. I don't know, there's a million more. There's loads. I mean, look at India, there's so many practicing Hare Krishna Vaishnavas. Hare Bol. You made it, huh?
Yeah.
Welcome home. Welcome home. Just in time for prasadam. You working today?
Yeah, okay.
Come again. We have to do what we have to do. But you know, it was like there was this mood, and people would say, "We see you guys everywhere. I saw you last week in Huddersfield, and now I see you in Coventry, and here you are in Sunderland." It's the same group of devotees, just moving around constantly. Like when you go out for 8-10 hours a day on the street, which is what we used to do every day of the week, you get seen. Now if a devotee goes out for, 80 minutes once a month, he thinks, "Oh, whoosh, we went on Harinam! We did it." But that was the movement program, wasn't it? Of course there was those that weren't working in so many people not working now. It's a good job if no one's got anything to do. Just join the Harinam party. Just come and dance and chant on the streets all day long. What's the loss? A great thing to do. Anyway, people may not be attracted, but that was what we were doing. And people were familiar, aware of it. But we had this feeling of need. Prabhupada was feeling of a great need to save people. And it's not in the hell and brimstone style, but to somehow or another connect people with Krishna. Somehow. Give them the chance. Give everyone this chance. Whether they're in the prisons, whether they're in rehab, whether they're old age people, whatever it may be. And that's the miracle. Lord Chaitanya has given the miracle. That is a miracle. Prabhupada said, "This is my miracle." This is the miracle. He's given us Sankirtan in various forms. There are many other ways. I mean, we could suggest hundreds of things and on and on and on. I mean, if the fact is that most of you are married, or will get married, you're going to have kids, mostly. You need money, the society we're living in. You've got to face the realities. It's not, the fact is that so many people are on the dole, but it's better if we can have a good occupation, which is also helping us to be Krishna conscious. And mostly you have to work wherever you can get a job. Where do you work, Penny?
In Castle College.
In the college, huh? You're also in the college, along with Saraswati's there too, isn't it?
And Dhananjaya.
Well, same college, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You didn't kick Sachi out, did you?
Hey, Sachi was working there.
He
as
was
well,
working
but
there.
He's not there
Somebody
anymore.
kicked him out.
wasn't
No.
me, no.
What did he do? He was a naughty boy or what?
He got kicked out, or he left himself.
I don't know.
He left himself.
He
left
left. He
himself.
didn't like it.
He didn't like him.
Now he likes
Office
Sunderland.
politics, more.
Anyway, whatever
I
it
think
was.
he likes Sunderland now.
Krishna had
Sunderland
another
girl, he
plan.
likes it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Krishna
Just
had another
He
plan.
just started and he likes it, he said.
A new job?
New jobs.
You've got a new job. That's good. I think he was a bit too. He would come out on Harinam with us in the middle of work hours and things like that. I think he was a little bit turned up late. Oh, I can go in any time I like. He would say, I say, "It's a new job. You've got to play your cards right." Okay. Anyway, that's another subject matter. But most of us are working some office or this or that. And it would be nice if we had. Prabhupada very much wanted, and this is not the part of the world where farming is very lucrative, you could say, the northeast of England. I don't know, maybe it is. No. It's not easy in this country, that's to say the least, unless you've got a lot of money. But something where devotees can do something together, practical as well.
We tried farming for a few years.
In Durham.
Did you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the devotees couldn't couldn't get that old necessary quarter of love going to keep it together, I think.
Couldn't get the what?
Necessary quarter of love amongst themselves to keep it going.
Nice
what
way to
happened?
put it.
They started beating each other or something?
Something,
Love
maybe
and
not
hate.
physically, but or maybe even physically, but at least psychologically.
Yeah, it was
Oh, yeah.
lovely while
One
it
coming with a
lasted.
spade, the other with a fork. You know. This is my plot.
But like Penny says, it's the fact that it was lovely while it lasted, and
Yeah.
it was an interesting experience
you
for
were there
everyone
that
as
time,
well.
We weren't living there, but we used to go out at weekends for programs.
Well, that's one
It
thing.
was
It's like some
lovely.
project, some type of, and like I was just thinking the other day when we were in Brighton, was it Brighton?
Brighton.
Brighton. Seeing all these kind of shops and this and that, and seeing that Infinity food store, selling. I don't know how they operate. Some of them work by cooperatives. Some of them work by cooperatives. So and even things like that in an urban situation, some kind of community project of some kind that everyone can plug into, that everyone can be a part of. You maybe sell this, sell that. It could be wholesale, retail, it could be anything, catering, anything whatsoever. And there's also, I know it's just something which I just envisioned.
Coffee?
Could be a cafe part of it, also a cafe. Cafes are good. Prabhupada's last instruction, now this is his last, as far as I know, his last instruction, let's say advice, call it instruction, call it what you may, but his last statement, anyway, on urban preaching, was that we should have cafes with like small reading rooms upstairs.
Just
Meeting rooms. That can be changed because according to the time, place and circumstance, reading may not be in. It may have to be like this, something audio, or it may be something else, but the principle was there. Yes.
Actually, on the way in, I was listening to Radio 4 today coming into the temple, and they had this really good documentary about a place in Paris called the Shakespeare Company, famous bookshop in Paris. And they've got a whole ethos around the bookshop, that they're not just there to sell books, but they're there, half of the books in the shop, at least half of the books in the shop aren't for sale. They're just for people to browse and read in the shop. And they make the atmosphere of the place such that people can feel very relaxed there to hang out. You don't have to buy anything, you just go and you can stay there the whole day without buying anything.
No
even.
pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. And people can, they've got some accommodation there, people can live there and work in the shop as a way to pay their rent. So they got, it's been
Like
going
a
on for
community
years and
thing.
years, but they had a whole thing based around just a bookshop.
Yeah.
So that reading room idea can be kind of
Expanded.
taken in
Yeah,
different
you
ways.
can only
yeah.
do so much to begin with, but everything starts small. In Brighton also, Dina Dayadra, who sort of initiated the Brighton preaching program down there, he's got now 3 shops, two in Brighton, one in Bournemouth. And they sell basically paraphernalia from India, because Brighton, Bournemouth, you may have to adjust for someone like Newcastle, you know what I mean? It may not be, the market may not be sufficient for alternate like that. And you may have to sell like Newcastle United football shirts or something. I don't know, you have to sell something, to go along with it, otherwise you won't get any selling saris or maybe it's English people, something like that. But he's got 3 shops, and that way he's finding it's more effective in many ways and less demanding in some ways than a restaurant or cafe, because sometimes I like restaurant cafes. I think they're great for just, that's how the movement started in New York, for the Paradox, the Paradox? It's not there anymore, it's a second-hand clothes shop now. I think it is the last year, I went to see it. But the Paradox was where they used to hang out, and that's where the message spread. It was like young people just hanging out and just talking about what's going on around the city, Yeah, what's happening. So Newcastle and Sunderland not quite the same, field or forum, but something.
We had a shop in Newcastle in the early days as well. Atul was the shopkeeper.
You were the shopkeeper, right?
I remember, yeah.
Matchless
Where?
Gifts. Matchless Gifts, just down below the temple in the bottom part of the temple.
Lisa's?
Yeah, Lisa's Park Road, yeah. Few devotees came through that shop as well.
Oh yeah. No, he's found that they make different type of people because they're relaxed. They come in there, and people in the shop, they like to have a little chit chat. It's not like in a restaurant where they're sitting down to eat. They sometimes don't like it when you come and sit next to them and start talking. Oh God, they just want to preach to you in that restaurant. They don't go there, They want to go there just to have a chill out. They don't want to go there to be preached to in restaurants. You can make friends with everybody over a period of time. Of course, that's another thing. When you give them books on the table, that's nice. But in the shop, they often like to talk and ask questions. What is this all about? What's that all about? What's this book about? What's that about? What are you doing? What's this and that? They're kind of more relaxed. They find a more relaxed atmosphere, easy atmosphere. People come in and come out. It's not like all at once, drift in and drift out. And they made a few devotees to the shop. And then they employ devotees in the shop. They have a whole bunch of devotees working in the shop. They got 3 shops now. And it was something. It'd be nice to have something other than just a once a week temple program with, you know, basically almost the same devotees coming, but one, some come, some go. But it's kind of like, it's not very exciting in terms of, you know, spreading the mission, so to speak. But something a little bit different. Any other suggestions?
I think that the Sunday program is exciting in terms of spreading the mission, but there's a lot more we could be doing, and that's the type of thing that we could be looking to, because the Sunday program is set up. It's been going on for years and years and years and years and years, and it will probably go on as well. And people do come and people get benefit from it, and it does function. It works. It's a good program in that sense, but there is a lot more we could do. Like there's another 6 days of the week, for example.
Most
to
people
fill.
are working, that's true. But I think maybe some opportunities are there. Anything else?
To do more pamphlets. I was thinking
Huh?
pamphlet to give.
More
To
literature
spread
distribution in German.
Literature
Literature
pamphlet.
distribution. I'm sure
And
there
to
are
keep in
hundreds
touch with the people who have come. I think the regular to sending them letters and things like that, because they find that some people say that
cultivation
yeah,
program.
yeah. So
That's
I
of course
think
one of the main things.
every devotee should take responsibility for a few devotees who are coming to temple to keep an eye if they are coming or not, and encourage them and help them to understand
Network,
the
cultivation, networking.
networking. That's what exactly I mean.
Cultivation networking.
That's
That's
what I was
very
thinking.
most successful temples have cultivation networking as one of the major things. Exactly the details of that vary, but it's like David Mitchell Maharaj with his program, and he specifically zoned in on a certain sector of society, but it's all based on cultivation and networking. And pretty much follow up is very important. It's easy to initiate something, it's to follow up which is really the secret. Yes, Anthony.
Something I do is talk to somebody every day about Krishna consciousness.
Good.
You know, it might be say somebody who I've just bumped into in the shop, and I'll turn a conversation around to, I was through at the temple and we were doing such and such a thing. It was very nice. We had this son. You talk about Krishna consciousness to at least one person every day.
It's a nice program. Every day. Someone
Or
in the
possibly
shop,
2
on the street.
people or 3 people.
Well, if you imagine if everyone here, how many of us here? 15, 20? 18 or something. Imagine if everyone here was able to bring one person to Krishna consciousness this year. That's 36. Now if 36 were able to bring one person to Krishna consciousness, that would be 72. If those not that they will, but just give an idea. Those 72 bring one person each, that would be 144. 288. Like that, up and up and up, 576. 1,162, whatever. It goes up. Within 10 years, you've got about 5,000 devotees. It doesn't sound much, does it?
Those statistics, the British statistics, that's how they do it, Maharaj. Yes. But,
Doesn't matter much.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you have anything?
Yeah, what I saw, I think 36 new people coming to the temple every year. So we just need to take care about them, whoever is coming, and take responsibility.
So long with India's network
Yeah,
and
obviously.
connection, contact.
I think when the new ones are coming, probably it's a good idea to keep in track of them, because many times I see people come and the new ones, and then we don't see them again.
Yeah, but what I mean, I'm not talking about one person.
It's a
Like
group.
all of us, even you can take care about one person. Because maybe I'm not that guy of cup of tea, someone is coming,
Definitely. It's,
like Rohit said when we first met, he was right actually. He thought I'm crazy, so
I think that's the crazy,
So,
vulnerable, they're
yeah.
all the wrong words, but they are the right people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean with David Maharaj, he has, according to the person, different people they do keep in touch, because it's right. I mean, like, certain, different wavelengths, and if it's an older person, different persons may connect better with a young person who's, we've only got what we've got, and, it's like, like Mark, you know, you can easily preach to people who've had a similar experience or have been through what you've been through in one sense. You know, they may listen or not listen, but you know you've got something to offer. You've got some powerful tools.
I try to be conscious of not force feeding. You know, when I was in early recovery, I had many people who would force feed me different religions, and I found it quite aggressive.
Yes, you don't.
And when
need to do
someone
that.
was force feeding me
No.
maybe Christianity or Catholicism,
Exactly.
so I'm quite conscious about talking about Krishna consciousness to other people because I want it to be more, maybe more attraction than promotion. I feel that
You can make friends with people.
Mm.
You can help them with their problems, and then they'll start asking, "What are you into, man?
Yes.
and
What are you into?" Then automatically you don't have to push anything. It's like book distribution on the street. You know, when the doors are on the street doing Harinam, right? And you see, you put your table up, you put books on the table, and people come, right?
Mm.
You don't have to push it in their face. If we had 10, I mean, you don't need many devotees to do that. I mean, Satya was doing it here for quite a long time before he got a job, before he got married, and his life really started to, you know, take off. When he was single, he was doing it on his own. And sometimes he'd do like 20, 30 books in a couple of hours. For a year, about a year practically he was doing it almost. Not everyone's into that, but that's another thing, you know, it can be done in all the different pockets around and about. People get to know. Non-evasive approach, almost.
Distribute prashadam.
Distribute lots of prasad. That was something on my mind.
Food
I
for
was
life.
thinking, huh? Food for life, absolutely. You know, it's a very good program, extremely good program. Just now I was in New Zealand, in a small town, Whangarei, it's about 60,000-70,000 population. One devotee was Purihanta. He's been there a long time. He lived there with his wife, but he was like living basically just maintaining his own life, doing a bit of food for life now and again. That was his part. But he's got really fired up the last 2 years, and he's really gotten into it. And now he's got he's approached the council, and the council have given him a free facility, a free building to operate Food for Life on the main street, just 100 meters from the city centre practically. They gave him this, you know, this a bit of a rundown place. There are quite a few empty buildings, and so he's operating Food for Life 3 or 4 days a week with his wife. And now they've got another couple's come to help, and another girl's moved there to help also from other parts of the country because they've seen this thing happening. He's doing school programs every week, 3 or 4 school programs, lots of prasad going out there too. And then he's also managed now with all of that, he's got a centre there. He's renting a building, like a little storefront with a flat behind, which he stays in with his wife. They're having weekly programs and regular programs. Another devotee's opened a restaurant in the same town. It's a small town. All this is going on. We did Harinam there 2 weeks ago with 60 devotees came from Auckland. We went 60 of us to that little town and did Harinam. And the whole town was like ablaze, you know. Everybody was waving, "We know you guys." The councillor came up to me and said, didn't come to me, came to someone else. He said, "Have you actually got permission to do something like this in the city?" And I just I was listening, and I just smiled and I said, have you seen our Food for Life centre around the corner? He kind of embarrassingly smiled and walked away. You know, it's like you know, it's so popular. The mayor came to open the Food for Life centre. And the mayor personally kept it open. Because, like, you know, these type of things, sentiment, but it's effective too. Prashadam, it's Food for Life. It's actually prashad distribution. That's what it is. It's another way of distributing prashadam, and a kind of a good way of doing it. And as you say, prashad. I was thinking also, you know, when I'm on Harinam, nice thing too would be everyone can do this. All the greenhouses can make a little sweet or something, and put it in a plastic bag and put a little label on there what it's about. If you want more, or you can order these sweets or whatever you want to do. You know, you can do a whole business. We have one devotee in New Zealand. He's making a fortune from prasad distribution. He's got warehouses, he's got factories producing food which is offered to Krishna and selling it all over the country in different shops. You know, there's so many things that can be done if someone has that spirit of enterprise. That's the spirit.
Atul's just said, does he have any daughters of marriageable age? Atul said, does he have any daughters of marriageable age?
One doing business. He does actually. I don't know if she's married though. She may be married. I'm not sure. I haven't asked
Should
her.
send her a photograph of Atul.
Yeah, what is that?
No, he can draw.
You're a good one.
See, I'm still looking for the perfect wife. Vaishnav millionaire who owns a burfi factory.
Burfi factory. You're on the right path.
They
They
do
do sell
cheesecake.
burfi. They sell burfi amongst many other things. That's one of their many products. Balkra.
You're all
I
invited.
gave you a little bit of insight.
There
Everyone's got
are no
something
restriction
for
about the health and safety. If you give it to prasadam.
Yeah, it should be clean and healthy.
No, you have to approach them and do things, is it?
It's up
Food
to
and
people. You're not selling. It's not a commercial thing. You just put it out on the table at Harinam, and if people want to take, it's there for them.
You can do it in markets. People do it all the time in markets. Every Sunday there's Sunday market. People put their own things in the market. You know, their own homemade bread or homemade biscuits, homemade cakes, and so on.
Oh, like that.
There's ways and ways. You know, it depends on what you're doing. And there's different ways of transferring Krishna consciousness.
That's what
But
I
as you
was
say,
asking.
unity is the
I thought that
force.
I needed what I thought.
Unity.
I think also connected to that discussion, identifying certain audiences and concentrating on them. Like Krishna and Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Vidabha Jante Man, 4 types of people. And then he says those who are distressed, like Mark is saying, people who are trying to turn their lives around and things like
Most
that.
people over here are searching for knowledge in their class.
Those who are inquisitive,
They're mostly searching for knowledge.
like the
and-
Jodis.
They were mostly Brahmin caste, I think. Isn't it? Searchers for knowledge must be. Oh, yeah, sure.
And like you said about in Bristol, they have that vegetarian whole
Yeah.
fair, so that's like a key audience for devotees. There's a big group of
But even
vegetarians.
Catholics,
So vegetarian societies, philosophical societies, any of those kind of. There's philosophical society in Newcastle. But
Anyway,
we're not
it's,
really doing anything with them. We know they're there, but we're not
You're
making
churning
the
the same thing
connection.
over, but you're a new crew. It's a new crew of devotees, so you know, in your new crew, you've got to chew again.
like you, because you're all very dynamic in
Yes,
thinking.
Could it be possible
Ideas
that
would be very, very well.
maybe have like a cultural event in the centre of Newcastle? You know, we've got some musicians and we've got some wonderful singers and
Like
we've got some good cooks. You know,
We've
Laos
been
and it's
suggesting
great.
this for a few years, and
We
our local administration have not yet organised it.
Well, we did it. Was it last year? We tried it.
No, I'm thinking of a little different along his mark, Rath Yatra.
Okay.
like I was thinking maybe in the streets, you know, somebody could give out cakes, somebody could teach music, somebody could sing, teach the.
That could be, that's done at the Rath Yatra. You have all the tents there.
Mm.
You know, that's what's missing, and one of the things that's missing in Newcastle. I don't know if you're aware of Rath Yatra here. Have you?
We could find someone who does puppet shows.
We did have a Rath Yatra with Parashuram one year.
Did you?
Yeah,
A long
for
time ago,
part of the
yeah.
Lord Mayor's parade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, he was willing two or 3 years ago to come up here with his troops, but we didn't get it together in time, did we? Kind of a bit.
Well, we did get it together in time, but the communications fell to bits
Yeah.
again.
Timing. So anyway, there's a very successful thing, Rath Yatra. It's called Rath Yatra. You may not have seen it. Have you seen Rath Yatra? We take this big chariot through the streets with giving out leaflets and prasadam all the way.
Well, they're still coming up, aren't they? There's Leicester still to come,
Yeah.
and maybe
Yeah,
Mark
Birmingham,
might get a
Leicester,
chance to go
Manchester.
down.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
some of the other devotees will be going.
Yeah, and then they stop in a park or a square at the end. You know, in Manchester it's in a square, in Leicester it's in a square, in Birmingham it's in the square, and some places it's town square, sometimes it's the park. And we have these little booths and tents teaching different things and selling things and giving things, and prasad free for everybody. Like in some of them in Leicester there, because there's Indian population, and they serve about 10,000 plates, I think, of prasad everywhere. So that's yesterday. London even more. But it's a very successful thing. Rath Yatra is very important. That's something. That's amazing.
You know, the best day to have Rath Yatra would be the Saturday of the Green Festival.
That'd be a good idea.
Because you could do Rath Yatra a little bit around Newcastle and end up in the park
Yeah.
enjoying with the festival and
Well,
have
that's another
tents
thing, isn't
there.
it? Green Festival is another thing you
Yeah.
have up here, which is when I don't know. When is the Green Festival?
It's just
It was
the
just
first
gone.
weekend in June.
We had good Harinams there.
Finished.
The devotees went and had good Harinams there, Dhananjaya Saraswati and
That's great.
Dear Karpi.
Yeah, we could probably do a lot more, I'm sure. You know. Anyway, let's try to understand that whatever it is, this is a great opportunity, and it's our privilege to have an opportunity to be a part of spreading Krishna consciousness. We've all got a little part to play. It may not be the same. Maybe we don't all get along with each other all the time over everything. That's naturally going to be out there, and as much as we can, we try to